Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back into the shop. So we have the RX8 here. We have several pieces that actually need to be put on. As you can see, there's a box here. That box actually contains one of the pieces that we got to put on, but there's at least 2-3 different pieces that we need to put on. So here's one right here. So this alone is the simple gauge cluster. So as I look over it, I did go ahead and take it out beforehand. This craftsmanship is insane. Shout out to Rotarytronics, because that's where I bought the actual gauge cluster kit. I will link it down in the description, so you guys, if you have an RX8, and you can go ahead and buy it. So that gauge kit is actually going to allow me to see the correct temp and the whatnot. I did order plugs, but they keep sending me the wrong plugs, so I go back and forth. But I'm gonna show you what we're gonna have to install. So keep in mind, budget building. This is a universal Dorman coolant recovery kit, but that coolant recovery kit is actually going to be placed in the engine bay. So with that being said, it's going to go right there in that specific hole. Now, you can do all day long, but I mean, what's that piece without, you know, that major piece? I'm trying to remember where I put it here, because this specific piece that I've been waiting forever for, that just so happened to come beforehand, I might have to grab the key. Yep, there's a key. So I've been waiting on the one piece for quite some time, and as you can see, the steering wheel cover has been changed. I did make a video on it, but the audio on it is it's not good, so we're filming off of the iPhone. I mean, it still works, but now we gotta grab the key, go all the way back here. I did reach out to the Amazon, because that's where I bought the plugs from, and they are going to contact seller to get in the right plugs to me. So I do have a bunch of battery relocation stuff in here. That is for another episode that I have yet to get started on. But in the meantime, I also have terminal postings. I'm trying to find, there's all the wires. I have the breaker kit. I am trying to find the actual kit, or not the kit, but the device that I ordered. Here it is. So we bought the sohn adapter kit from epitroch, and I spoke to Dominic there. He explained to me, hey, you know, you can run whatever. He said a specific kind of two-stroke oil. I do not remember, but we're gonna swap it out. I know eventually I do need to do a rebuild because my coolant has disappeared. So more or less, I got to get that done. I do got to get this block stripped down here to check the rotor housings and everything. I have a bad feeling that it is going to be kind of toast, but I mean, chances of it are pretty high. Chances of it not being too bad, I mean, it's kind of so continuing on. So we are going to be installing the simple gauge into the RX8, kind of get that settled. I got several pieces. I got some bungles that they sent in the kit. I bought the whole kit. The kit was about $280 and some change. So I'll go grab this piece out. This is a whole harness, mind you. A whole harness. So this bungle is the oil temp, and this one is the coolant, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I'm having a major brain fart right now. So this one is going to be coolant. This one is going to be oil, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look back at the diagram because I mean I don't have it right here in front of me, but I don't think, yeah, so this is going to be the oil bung. It's the pressure and temp sensor. And then this is going to be our coolant. So oil, coolant, because this is a good old banjo bolt. So this is going to be your oil. This is going to be your coolant. And it already comes locked together. So this is going to be left hand. So let's go ahead and get down to the engine bay so we can get this in place and we can get this on the inside and get it plugged up. So let's go ahead and hop over there. Alright, so as you can see, I drilled the hole out. It does come with these small screws, which be very gentle, as the instructions do say do not over tighten, because I mean it literally weighs almost close to nothing. So we originally were going to start underneath the hood, but after looking, this is going to be the easiest route. So now we are going to feed the wires through the back. So I want to be very gentle because this is an expensive unit, and the craftsmanship that goes into this, I do not want to I don't want to jeopardize the integrity. So, like I said, we're going to feed these lines in little by little. So this one might have to take a little finessing because I did kind of make it small, just to kind of keep the entry somewhat Alright, so we're going to upsize the hole just a tad bit. which I know that's probably excessive, but I mean, I'll have this car for a while. This car, I've already put in a lot more money than I've ever honestly planned on putting in a car, but it's unique. I mean, I can't disagree. So now we are going to very carefully pull these wires, and you are to align second. I'm trying to align it. There we go. Make sure we are set. So now this is where the screws come in. Give me just a second. I will be right back. We are back. We're going to be putting this other screw in. So now, she's not pushing there. Still closes. So we're good. So now, you see the wires in there. And I'll be right back. Alright, so now we are in the cab of the car. So now we got to do two things. So we got these two wires, and then you have your black and your red. So your black, I believe, goes to the red, and your red goes to the cigarette outlet. So that one's going to be your yellow wire on the back side of the cigarette lighter. Alright, yep, so I was correct. So the black wire, let me disconnect this real quick. So the black wire goes to the white and red. And then your red wire goes to the yellow on the cigarette lighter. Which that one may have to get a pair of pliers for, because it's a thicker gauge slightly. Yep, I'll be right back. So push it all the way down. Alright, so now those two are connected. So we're going to go ahead and put the black on the white, and we're going to put the red on the yellow. So now that's hooked up. So now all we got to do is kind of lay this out, and then we have to connect two things. We have to connect the sensor wire of the harness to the actual gauge, and then we actually have to hook up the OBD2, which I am going to go grab. So I will be right back. So I have the OBD2. Sorry, it is so bright. So this is the OBD2. It's plug and play. So we're going to plug this in the bottom in the OBD2. and we are going to route it up and over into this console area, just like the other harness is already. I will show you guys that here in a minute. So it's a little bit more complicated because I can't really see too far down there, but it's also running. There it is, and that's what I'm looking for right there. So we routed that wire in. So now we just got to find the connector, which it is going to be a 3-wire, and this is it. Boom. We connected the one harness. Now we got to loop the other harness and get it through. So we will be right back, and I will show you guys how it looks after everything gets connected. Alright, sorry I'm kind of sweaty because the car doesn't have AC and neither does my shop, but this is what it should look like. Oops, sorry. If I can get it down. So, harness connected, and this other harness connected. I looped it from the, there's a hole on the back side, and give me a second here. Oop. Now you gotta go the other way. So there we go. So there's a hole right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole right there where those lines are going in. Just loop it through there, and then you'll have to tie up. Sorry, I know it's super bright, but you'll have to tie up those along the bottom of the dashboard. So that's how I did it. And then the manual also doesn't state. Oh, I guess I could have wrapped it all the way down, but because I didn't really utilize the whole line, because this is where I have it, and this going through the firewall where the hood release is. So this can still go down a little bit of ways. So I'll kind of see where that goes. But all the harness is connected. I don't have battery power because I need to do a battery relocation because it keeps dying. So the battery relocation is going to be down here in this particular pocket. I was actually thinking about putting it in the passenger pocket just due for weight distribution, even though it's not really going to make much. But that's okay. But we're going to get the gauge fully installed, and we'll go over where the bung and the sensor go. There's 2 locations where it says in the manual to put it. So that's exactly where I'm going to put it because that is what the kit was designed to go. So I got all that together. I'm fixing to put the interior back together, and then we're going to go hop down into the engine bay, and we're going to start taking bolts out and replacing bolts. So I'll be right back with you guys. I'm going to button up the interior, and then we'll go down underneath. All right, so you're going to take your banjo bolt. I got some of my red paint that I came off, but you're gonna go. Oh, I just knocked the other seal. So you're gonna go. You're gonna take the oil cooler line. Of course. And we are going to put the other washer on it. And now we're going to find it. God damn it. There it is. So now I'm screwing it in. A little bit of a pain, but alright, so I don't think it's the same diameter. I think it's a 21 millimeter now, but I will give it a shot. 19. That's what I thought. I'll be right back. So, tried 22. It is not the correct size. So we went up to 24, which is the correct size for the banjo boat that goes into the old cooler line. They weren't kidding when they said this is the hardest one, because it's right up on the backside block. You don't really have any good enough socket to get in there and get her out. So I'll be right back. So the original sensor was a 15/16. Believe it or not, this aftermarket sensor that you get in the kit is going to be a 7/8. So we are going to fish it on up in here. And yes, it does take a good bit of time. Now I need to find the hole. I forgot where it's at. Come on, dude. Like, it's right there in the fucking hole. Okay, we are officially done installing it. The banjo bolt, the new one, is a 24. And the new sensor is a 7/8. But the banjo bolt wasn't the hardest one. It was the actual oil temp pressure sensor that was on the back side of the block on this side, which I struggled and struggled and struggled to get in that pressure sensor. It just it wouldn't work, so I rethreaded it, and then I went ahead and tighten it down. We're gonna go ahead and put some power to it and see how it looks, because everything's already buttoned up. So we're gonna see how it looks. Sorry, you guys are at a weird angle. So here is the ground. So now we got power. Let me get the key. Sorry, you guys are at a weird angle. So I'm gonna get the key and I'll show you guys what it looks like after installation. So that way you guys see. So as you see, hold up. It's not on. This is accessory. Should turn on here in just a second. Not enough juice. So when I get her turned on, I will go ahead and show you guys. Alright. So we got it figured out. It was a blown fuse, so I'm sitting here trying to wrap my head around it. So I'm gonna show you basically the aftermath. So I still had power to it. Of course, I still gotta do the battery relocation. So give me a second here. So lights up, RX8. Now I have it on value dependent. So red is no good, blue is cold, that's the voltage right now, and air fuel ratio. Oh, you can't see it. So that is what we're looking for. Our air fuel is good, battery, so now it's running rich. But this is the battery, that's oil temp. So I mean, it's looking really good. But of course I need to drop it down, cool it. It needs to go up a little more before we end up doing anything. Oil temp is kind of cold. So I mean, this is actually overall, it's really nice to have. So I mean, still close it. The plug still works. So that's honestly, that's a good thing. And I probably shouldn't have done that part because it floods, but other than that, she is solid. Now we just need to get the sohn adapter in, this universal tank in. We also need to get some arrow on. I did order that, but I do need to put some bulbs in, but that is going to be the end of today's video. I know, hopefully I covered a good portion of things as far as on the install of this simple gauge for the RX8, and hopefully we can get some more upgrades and hopefully some bigger brakes. I know eventually I do want to get some new tail lights. They're not necessary, but I personally want them because these kind of outdated. But I will catch you in the next video.